You think they're just desensitized to abusive dynamics, not scared of Destiny? I think they're scared of Destiny. Well, I'm sure it's both. I'm horrified by both, but I am particularly annoyed by the posturing. All right. I think lots of these people genuinely think you're wrong because of desensitization. I think Sunday was posturing. Wick is posturing. Even tomfoolery is posturing. I don't agree. I don't agree. I think they're all posturing. They might not care if I'm wrong because of desensitization, but they're... The first thing Wick said to me was, are you going to show 21 Jump Street to the head of Google? Because of my rallying cry against the boosting and profiting off of anti-Semitism by YouTube's algorithm. There's no way that Wick, I assume, there's no way that Wick like actually thinks that's okay. I think he's just posturing. He's just giga chatting. No, I didn't stream the tomfoolery one. Because of Kanye, yes. He was making a joke that if I'm calling out an emerging pattern of anti-Semitism in YouTube's algorithm, the algorithm should watch 21 Jump Street. Because of Kanye. I should have left as soon as he said that. All right, I'm gonna go.
Thinks this is combating anti-Semitism.
I think we got another rough week or two ahead of us. But no, I don't think I'll be talking to most of these people.
Well,
Unless
if
they
it's
have a
not because
big
of
change of
Destiny,
heart.
it's because of anti-Semitism.
I think for me to talk to somebody anywhere near Destiny now, they would need to
battle for his life. Which I guess hardcore anti-Semitism is. Nice.
probably
Destiny's the
be like
person you need
taking
to
accountability
attack.
for their own complicity and like crying and stuff. Other than that, it just seems like the same conversation over and over again. I don't think you need to see any positive evaluation of your report's significance as a compliment. Maybe it's just enough to compensate for your own involvement. I personally think it is highly likely that your work will have a significant impact in the long term. If you will be credited for that impact is another question. Well, I wrote this so that someone else could write something that will be... I wrote this to make it easier for the next person to write something, and they can have all the credit.
Where is that fucking line?
That's fine. I just wanted to
That?
it's it's really like a evidence repo for lazy reporters. That's what it is.
Let's put it here. Unclear otherwise.
It almost sounds like you want these people in your environment to cater to you and your style of communication. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Oh, it's there, isn't it?
I do. Sounds a lot like that. cater to me by not being a underhanded, spineless, manipulative asshole. You're all catering to me when you can admit what you're doing and you're
Talk
honest
exactly the way I want you to talk.
in conversations.
Let me put words in your mouth constantly.
Oh yeah. I want you all to bend the knee.
I don't know what he does though. It's literally how he does conversations.
All right.
Oh, my YouTube algorithm is trash. God damn it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to FoundFlix. On this Inning Explained, we're looking at Infinity Pool. Following a couple on a ritzy beach vacation on the island of La Tolca, a fatal accident exposes the resort's perverse subculture of hedonistic tourism, reckless violence, and surreal horrors. Sounds like my kind of vacation. Infinity Pool is the latest from Brandon Cronenberg, son of body horror maestro David. Yet already with 3 films under his belt, baby Brandon has really etched out his own particular weird brand of cosmic horror outside of his father's shadow. His latest feels like an evolution of his distinct style. It's not quite as trippy as Possessor, and tells a seemingly much more straightforward story. Yet it also touches on many thematic elements that have come to define his work, like what it means to be a human, the idea of our own identity, and other existential concepts. That is all on display here in a freshly twisted and at times quite thoroughly hilarious fashion. The progression into total depravity is ramped up quite well, starting seemingly innocent enough before things go increasingly off the rails. A lot of these ideas of identity and what makes us
Fuck, that was quick now? My ear fuckingly loud, so let's turn it down for a second. Let's edit it. I was gonna pump my ears. Adam Sandler, click. This is perfect. It's a funny sound effect though.
Throwing flashbang.
Okay. Not the sound that I need. Nice throw. It's really a lot of knife throw sound effects. Yeet sound effects. Try that one. I think yes. I think I'll use that one. Oh.
Who we are is presented through the self-reflecting journey of James, Alex Skarsgård, and it's a lot of fun seeing him playing against his
I know he's taking
typical
out control.
beefcake type. But perhaps unsurprisingly, it's Mia Goth who steals the show again. Oh, and guess what? She's a complete lunatic. I'm sensing a pattern here. But just like the ramping of the story, her character too takes time to shed her layers before revealing the true monster hiding at the core. Obviously, there is a lot to dig into here, and I'll make sure to cover everything and what it all means. So let's take a one-way trip into madness with Infinity Pool, breaking down the story, the important themes at play, as well as explaining the ending and reasoning behind James's important final decision. In a dark hotel room, we hear an early morning conversation between couple Emily and James. They first discuss getting some breakfast before Em cuts a little deeper into James as a person. She doesn't understand why they're here. It isn't helping anything. He's so frozen these days, she can't tell if he's sleeping or awake, which will become a predominant theme as the story gets more out of control. He tries to get closer to her, but she's more interested in catching the buffet before the omelet station closes. Hurry! We float through the lavish and quite empty resort grounds on the fictional island of La Tolca. James and Em pass through the grounds, both dressed quite stylishly. The camera spins upside down, floating up into the sky. We see several locations around the compound, but it's all weird and askew, already letting us know that something is off here. A group of employees donned in traditional Iki masks inform the crowd about the meaning of the upcoming rainy season for the locals. It's known as the summoning, and
those
they
masks are the
celebrate
fucking
with
scariest thing I've ever
music,
seen in my
food,
life.
and
Holy
good
shit.
company. Each guest is bestowed with color spots near their eye to signify the friendship they share by closing the season together. Oh, and don't forget, you can get your own Iki mask right down at the gift shop.
It's so loud. I'll check everything back up again at some point. Oh. Yeah, death sound effect now.
Already showing us how the local
That one might be good for the other better though. Hmm. There's some uploaded sound effect. It's called internal screaming sound effect. It's 2.5 million views. It's just silence.
Die.
That one's not bad. I'll take it. My nose is fucked up. Oh yeah, this is content. Oh.
Traditions have been reappropriated and corrupted by the tourists. James sullenly joins M for breakfast, and he too is feeling odd about the place. Where are we anyway? She reminds him that this was his idea and pokes at him once more. You feeling inspired yet? She doesn't really wait for an answer and goes on about booking a boat tour for later, as well as reservations at a Chinese restaurant in town. James is unwilling to even entertain the idea of doing dinner again in town. The idea itself is even confounding. Why would they have a Chinese place on La Toca? M asks to be excused, saying that she'll meet him on the beach later. So we already have some general idea of James as a character already. He's struggling for inspiration and also seems to be just kind of completely checked out, kind of robotically going through the motions of his boring ass life. That all changes when he strolls down the beach, coming to a clamoring crowd. There's a local guy on a four-wheeler tearing up the sand as people watch on. James is mortified, covering his mouth at the sight. I'm not sure what is exactly so scary, and that's kind of the point too. From his appearance, you would think James would be a much more masculine sort of a guy, as Skarsgård has played many times. I mean, Tarzan, hello! However, James is a long way from his previous loincloth incarnation. He chokes out to no one. What is going on?
Seems
And
like
a
bad
lady,
casting.
Gabby, informs him that it's a local trying to make a statement. As for what kind exactly, they are apparently not huge fans of the tourists being on their island. According to her, what they like to see is all of them killed and hung up at the airport with all the others. James finds that a bit extreme, and Gabby tells him, well, the Latolkans are a quite dramatic people. Then she surprisingly reveals that not only has she read his book, but she loved it. James is taken aback, but thanks her. After all, not too many have read it. They formally introduce themselves, and she brings over her husband, Alban. He remembers the book too,
Alban.
and Gabby gushes that it's brilliant. James clearly is unused to compliments and revels in the moment. She invites him to dinner to get to know him a little better, and they already have reservations at Yang's, which must be the Chinese restaurant M mentioned that he actively refused to check out. Looks like Gabby's positivity has changed its tune. At the restaurant, which does look like a typical bastardized Chinese establishment, Gabby describes it as a multicultural experience. It's certainly an experience, James scoffs. As for Alban's line of work, he formerly was an architect, but now runs a journal called The Glass Pane, and it's in Paris that the pair first met. Since she couldn't get work there, she made him move to the States. James weakly inquires, what does she do? Well, I'm an actress, of course. He has a contract in commercials boasting that they're grooming her. Her expertise is in failing naturally. The others don't know what she means. You know, finding a natural seeming way to fail at a given task. She simply can't go on without the product, you know? Alban suggests a demonstration, and Gabby places a bagel in front of her. She feebly tries cutting out the bagel, but just can't quite get it. It's impossible. No one
Oh my god, it's so loud. My ears already. Minus 17, maybe? I like that sound effect though. How I time this perfect better though. Still too quiet, huh? Too loud, huh? God, it's so loud. He ran into a room, dude. Adam Sandler, click. He ran into a.
Can cut bread with a knife, she moans. That's why she needs the bun chop. James, do you need the bun chop? Well, clearly I do, he concurs. The subject turns to the extended wait for James's next tome. It's been 6 years since his first one. Is it going to be coming out anytime soon? We'll see, he grumbles. Gabby is afraid that she offended him, and M steps in, saying that he hasn't been writing lately. Is it writer's block? James is starting to think that it's more due to lack of talent than anything else. He came here in search of inspiration, a resort, which he actually finds quite pathetic. They're curious in that case, what does he do for money? And M chuckles that luckily he married rich. Alban knows it's good for an artist to have a patron, but after all this time, M fears that it's in danger of becoming a charitable organization. She half jokes, clearly also fed up with supporting him with nothing to show for it. Gabby eyes James, and it looks like she is starting to pick up on those core issues for him as a person. After dinner, they cut a rug on
He ran into a room, dude. Well, it's so loud. I'm 45 here on my headphones. Jesus. I'm reloading.
No way, why am I dead?
Why am I dead, asshole?
Why am I dead? One shot. One shot.
Right.
One shot. One shot.
Whoops.
What a shot.
I'm just having a painkiller. You just run off?
I'm in the bunker.
I think
Over
you
to our left. Up
Up
here.
there? I'm pushing.
Yep.
There's two of them.
Such bad aim.
No way. Why am I dead?
On the creepy slow motion dance floor, or at least Gabby and James do. He is clearly enraptured with her, giving her the goo-goo eyes, and she stares right back with a devilish look on her face. In the morning, they are to meet up with the couple again, but Im isn't exactly thrilled. They're essentially strangers, and they were told to never leave the safe zone of the compound. He's confident that they can trust them, while she thinks that he's just happy that he found his fan club. He jokes, hey, at least they're out there somewhere, and promises that it'll be a load of fun. Gabby greets them enthusiastically, and an employee has lent them their car for the day. The gates are unlocked, and we see how serious they are about security, with barbed wire fences surrounding the resort. They drive out on a picturesque road overlooking the coast, and it is much more naturally beautiful just outside of the resort walls. Not getting the real experience unless you leave the frickin' resort as a point. However, things are far from luxurious for the local population, seeing them all living in rustic huts working the land. An obviously massive difference from the disconnected rich tourists staying in their fancy hotel. They arrive at a lovely beach to soak up some rays and fry up some buffalo sausages. James's infatuation can no longer be denied, as he can't even help but be bewitched by Gabby. Albin offers him another sausage, and James groans that he's stuffed. Albin jokes that he's trying to fatten him up, and he will be their final course. Will fry you up and feed Im his balls, like a real marriage. Im chimes in, perhaps she already gobbled his jewels long ago. And Albin has to know, why him? He has no money. She chalks it up to daddy issues, as in her dad hates him. Her father runs a publishing house, and the one thing that he asked was for her to never marry a writer. But as her father was a monster as well, she married the first broke writer that spilled coffee on her. Now that's true love, getting back at your a-hole dad. The perfect foundation for marriage. That becomes more complicated when James goes off to take a leak. He hears someone approaching and is startled to see that it's Gabby. She takes a grab onto James Jr. and gives him a proper reach around. James has some very serious reactions, as though he hasn't had his pee-pee played with in quite some time. He gets increasingly animated and shoots his shot. There's something I have to bring up about this scene, which is related to the original unrated cut of the movie. Pretty much every review I read from its film festival premiere described a scene with a prosthetic penis prominently displayed. And at this part, I was like, oh man, it must be.
Without your, get your hog out, Skarsgård. Those flashes seem too quick. A lot better.
What a shot.
The Phantom, exterior like fish eggs, interior like suicide wrist rags. I could exercise you, this could be your phys ed. Cheat on your man, homie. Ah, I tried to sneak through the door, man. Can't make it, the shit's stuck. Out my way, son! Door stuck! Door stuck! Please! I beg you! We're dead! You're a genuine dick sucker!
Out of my way, son! That'll work. That'll work quite nicely. For a quality fucking video. I'm saving that for later. Oh! Out of my way, son!
During this. So imagine my disappointment when no faux peen showed up. What the heck, you know? American cinema is so afraid of dicks for whatever reason. Let's hope we get that ungraded cut at one point. I demand penis! He turns back to her in disbelief. Like, did that really just happen? And Gabby casually strolls off without a word. Later that night, the party is finally dwindling down, yet Albin is way too drunk to drive. James offers in his stead, and before long, everyone else is passed out in the car. James isn't looking too aware himself, and it's only made more difficult to focus when the headlights start to randomly blink, making it completely dark ahead on the road. James fiddles with the switch, but the lights continue malfunctioning. He looks down and punches at it, and with his eyes off the road, plows right into somebody. Way to go, bud. The others pour out and are shocked at the sight. James defends that it was an accident. They need to call someone, the resort or the police or somebody. However, Gabby knows all about how the law works around here and puts the kibosh on that. According to her, they aren't civilized here. Their jails are brutalized.
The Phantom, exterior like fish eggs, interior
He's
like
just
suicide.
freestyling beforehand.
Out my way, son! Out my way, son!
Damn, the knifing noises might ruin it.
Out my way, son! Out my way, son! Out my way, son!
Let's go.
Out my way, son! Out my way, son!
Jesus. They could be good for certain things. Coming back from the speed ups. Let's be back a little bit. That's a bit loud. My hearing's so sensitive today. I think it's too loud.
Wait.
Fuck was that? Like glitching out and shit.
Run off.
I'm in the bunker.
I think
Over
you
to
are.
our left. To our left.
Seems quite nice. Not a big deal. Just subtle, but nice.
Up
Up
here.
there. I'm pushing.
Yep.
That's so bad, the aim.
Ready?
So bad.
One shot. Top of head. Top of head.
The aim is so atrocious. What noise I want for the... You have to have a transition on the instant replay bit. You're a big boy.
Out of my way, son! Out of my way, son!
Where am I?
Hey, son! Son!
What are these things? The dots.
One shot.
Out of my way, son! Son!
Wait, why am I dead?
Out of my way, son! Out of my way, son!
No way, why am I dead?
Out of my way, son! Son!
What? What is?
Away, son!
What is?
Son!
What is?
Look weird.
Son!
What is? What is?
Oh, it's okay, I think.
Shot.
And filthy, and would certainly meet their demises if they were imprisoned. So despite their better judgment, the group agreed to leave the injured person behind to die. Great vacation. There's a moment of worry when they wander back to the resort's gates. Initially, the guards are uncertain of letting them in. Again, it's against the rules to leave the safe zone. They promise that it won't happen again, and with that, they're allowed back inside. See, rules don't apply to them. What he did isn't sitting well with James, who soon tosses his cookies, obviously racked with guilt. The other couple isn't even fazed, leaving with a friendly "we'll see you at breakfast." However, soon consequences come a-calling, as he is awoken by officers at his room in the morning. They sternly tell the couple to come along. They're taken through another confounding area of twisted pipes and derelict buildings. Him is hyperventilating with anxiety, clutching James's hand tightly. They're escorted into the police HQ, where they are quickly separated. He shouts after that he will find her. He's dragged into a cell and given a uniform. Left on his own.
One shot. One shot. One shot. One shot. One shot.
Transition was kind of wild. Maybe too like chaotic looking.
One shot. No way! Why am I dead?
Out of my way, son!
One shot. One shot. Top of head. Top of head. Going to our left.
Right, that's coming too early.
Our left. Up
Up
here.
there. I'm pushing.
Yep.
For some time, James is forced to chew on what could be his fate. Later, a Detective Thresh enters and apologizes for keeping.
Hey, what else has to be done?
I'm just having a painkiller. You just run off.
I'm in the bunker. Moving to our left. Up
Up
here.
there? I'm pushing.
Yep.
There's two of them. There's two of them.
The worst aim.
Keeping him waiting. He assures him that Im is fine. They were just talking, calling her a lovely woman. You must feel quite lucky. There already is some corruption to the case right off the bat, as it was the detective's Uncle George who loaned them his car for their beach BBQ. If his role in the crime comes up, it would be quite bad for George. So is James willing to lie about what happened? He's curious how that would actually help him, and it won't at all, but he at least would appreciate it. James agrees and then poses the question to him. Did he rent you his car? No, James grumbles. Good, the detective replies. He details an account of what went down more or less accurately, them fleeing without contacting the police after a hit and run and everything. This is according to his wife what happened. James is a bit surprised that Im said that, and that is the case, the detective finding her quite forthcoming in fact. Sure, that is the true story of what happened, but it also shows us how easily she was willing to throw her husband under the bus with unknown consequences. Thanks, hun. As it turns out, the punishment is quite severe. According to their laws, if someone is responsible for the death of a man, his eldest son kills him to maintain the family's honor. They do it right here in the building. Of course, James can't believe what he's hearing. He's going to be put to death for what he did? The detective continues that in the case of there being no son, the state will do the deed instead. Luckily, the victim has two sons. James tried to plead with him and apologizes for his actions. I mean, he can't die, right? There is an alternative option of
There's two of them. What the fuck? There's two of them. There's two of them. There's two of them. I'm reloading.
No way. Why am I dead? Hey, why am I dead?
Out of my way, son!
What is...
I'm making another audio track. Oh, okay.
Up
Up
here?
there. I'm pushing.
Yep.
Pushing.
Up
Up
here?
there. I'm pushing.
Yep.
There's two of them. I'm reloading.
No way. Why am I dead?
Out of my way, son!
What is... What is that?
Out of my way, son!
What is... What is that?
Out of my way, son!
What is...
Seven gold chains on me, call me slick.
What is that?
Just made an album, 7 days, that's quick. Boobies going up and down, she's thick. Hold up, wait, rewind that shit. Adam Sandler clip, she a vegan, she got a thigh gap. Yeah, my BO smell good, it smell like lime. My team eating, to the left. Cash rap, always do a buyback. Down payment,
He ran into a room, dude.
I'm a healthy cereal.
Perfect for a grenade.
She a turkey on my dick. She gobble it. Big dick appointment, got a colleges. Sold her every show on all the continents. I don't know where I got my confidence. I'm a half full type of guy, I'm an optimist. Sipping on a Henny toxicologist. So I bought a house in LA. She a turkey on my dick, she gobble it. Big dick appointment, got a colleges. Sold her colleges.
Perfect for a grenade.
She a turkey on my dick, she gobble it. Big dick appointment, got a colleges. Big dick appointment, got a colleges. Big dick appointment, got a colleges. Colleges.
I'm just having a painkiller. You just run off.
I'm in the bunker.
I think
Over
you
to
are.
our left. Up
Up
here.
there. I'm pushing.
Yep.
There's two of them. I'm reloading.
No way. Why am I dead?
Out of my way, son!
No way. Why am I dead?
Out of my way, son! Out of my way!
Pushing. There's two of them.
Out of my way, son!
Can't catch me, I'm jumping the waters, head down the. Can't catch me, I'm jumping the waters, head down the messy. It's bag or die. 7 gold chains on me, call me slick.
One shot.
Just made an album, 7 days, that's quick. Boobies going up and down. She's thick. Hold up, wait, wind that shit. Sandler, bitch, she vegan. She got a thigh there. It might be all smell good, it smell like lime.
I had jump speed here already. What happened there?
Wait, wind that shit. Sandler, bitch, she vegan. She got a thigh there. It might be all smell good, it smell like lime. My team eating. Cash rap, always do a buyback. Down payment.
He ran into a room, dude.
I'm a healthy cereal.
Perfect for a grenade.
She a turkey on my dick, she gobble it. Big dick appointment, got a colleges.
available to escape his fate. Thanks to a special act for international visitors and diplomats for a quite substantial sum of money, the state will build a double of the accused to take their place in the execution. So basically, once more, if you have enough cash, you can get out of anything. It's also by law that the double will maintain its original's memories, and thusly will also believe itself guilty of the same crimes committed at the time of its death. This is a lot for James to wrap his head around, and the detective lays it out pretty plainly. Would you rather be executed or...
No way, why am I dead?
Out of my way, son!
Seven gold chains on me, call me slick. Seven gold chains on me, call me slick. Just made an album, 7 days, that's quick. Boobies going up and down, she's thick. Hold up, wait, mind that shit. Adam Sandler, bitch, you V. She got a fire there. Yeah, my BO smell good, it smell like lime. My team eating. Cash rap, always do a buyback. Down payment.
or do the double thing? Well, when you put it that way, let's hit the ATM, bro. Doctors measure all over his body and strip him down completely. A rubber cover is placed on his head, and a weird thing is affixed into his mouth to keep it forced wide open. He's pushed into another room, and he takes a step into a red gooey substance. The doctor lady shows him how to keep his hands and slams the door closed. James looks around in suspenseful anticipation, hearing some pipes beginning to gurgle. Another blue substance starts bubbling in, and the roaring of the device gets louder. He's overwhelmed by strobing colors and waves of light passing over him. There's a flash of what looks like Gabby dancing in the nude in front of a bunch of spinning lights. Amongst the flashes, an inky mask appears on her face. The flashing is more intense, and James's face is sliced into cubes. Things reach a fever pitch of insanity, and James comes back to completely baffled by what just happened. Yeah, get in line, pal. Em is there and informs him that the double procedure was a success, and now it's time for the ceremony downstairs. They're led through a room filled with outdated machinery and are brought to see his newly formed doppelganger. Also by law, the copy has to be an exact one-to-one with its creator. Otherwise, it's not admissible in court. He removes a towel, revealing James's own face encased in the red jello from the chamber. Em cries in disgust that it's horrible, but James is more intrigued by just how similar it looks. He gets closer and James too gasps to life to his shock. The officers then show them out to the mandatory witnessing of the execution. In a large hall, the double is tied to a pole with his washboard abs on display. The real James and Em watch from the stands on the verge of their seats. One of the victim's son enters the arena wielding a knife. He struts right up to James too, and James watches on with a morbid curiosity. His double sheepishly begs for his life and cries for Em to save him. She's barely able to even keep it together, her lips trembling at the scene. The boy jabs right into his gut, and he keeps on stabbing, unleashing a fountain of blood onto the ground. Despite, or perhaps because of the brutal display, James cannot look away, watching intently as the life drains from his double's eyes. It's pretty clear that this experience has awoken something dormant in James, as a small smile crosses his face. But this is just the beginning of his journey to being reborn. After that harrowing experience, Em is ready to leave immediately. James is still in a daze, staring at the ashes that he was gifted of his clone. She snaps him into action, and when rummaging through his things, he is unable to find his passport. Uh-oh, looks like he's stuck here. Em flips on him, shrieking that they have to leave, but no such luck. He offers that she can leave, and he'll follow after as soon as he can. Em has more on her mind than travel plans, and is disturbed by his reaction to the execution. You could just sit there and watch it happen, and she can't comprehend what is wrong with him. Lots, as it turns out. He blankly tells her that he'll go down to the front desk and see if they can help. He explains the situation to them, and they ask if he wants to extend his stay. With the rainy season fast approaching, the room is still available. It's pretty clear why he is interested in sticking around, making eyes with Gabby sitting nearby. He has to stay another week, and oh yeah, it's still under my wife's credit card. Thanks so much. She tries to apologize for everything that went down, and tempts him to come have a drink. It's telling that he doesn't turn her down after all the craziness of the past 24 hours, but again, he is more intrigued than upset buy everything. Now, a word from this week's sponsor, HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. There's a lot to love about HelloFresh, especially just how easy it is to put together a fresh, delicious tasting meal. It's also great for saving a buck, as it's 25% less expensive than takeout. And delivery fees, forget about it. Plus, cooking is fun too, so you're saving money and having even fresher and tastier meals at home. They also have a ton of variety, with up to 40 different weekly recipes to choose from, with something for every taste and even calorie-conscious eaters. They sent me a box to try for myself, and I loved everything I cooked. The whole experience really couldn't be easier. The box is delivered right to your door, after all, and thanks to pre-portioned ingredients, there's no waste. Plus, they come with easy-to-follow recipe cards with step-by-step instructions and pictures. So in no time, you'll be enjoying a delicious home-cooked meal that you cooked. How great is that? If you want to try out HelloFresh for yourself, check out my special offer. Go to HelloFresh.com/ending60 and use code ending60 for 60% off plus free shipping. That's HelloFresh.com/ending60 and use code ending60 for 60% off plus free shipping. She fills him in on their first experience on the island. At the time, Albin was installing an infinity pool, title drop, of his own design in one of the resorts. During the installation, a plate fell and killed 2 workers. Albin took the blame, and it was then that they encountered the doubling for themselves to escape their crimes. I'll delve a bit more into this at the end, but already we can see the correlation between an actual infinity
Ran into the room, dude. Perfect for a grenade.
She a turkey on my dick. She cash rap, always do.
He ran into the room, dude.
I'm a healthy cereal.
He ran into the room, dude.
I'm a healthy cereal.
Perfect for a grenade.
She a turkey on my dick, she gobble it. Big dick appointment, gynecologist.
I'm just having a painkiller. You just run off?
I'm in the bunker.
I think
Going
you
to
are.
our left. Up
Up
here.
there? I'm pushing.
Yep.
Two of them. I'm reloading. Two of them. I'm reloading.
No way. Why am I dead?
Out of my way!
Two of them. Two of them. Two of them.
Out of my way, son!
It's bag or die. 7 gold chains. on me, call me slick.
One shot.
Just made an album, 7 days, that's quick. Boobies going up and down. She's thick. Hold up, wait, rewind that shit. Adam Sandler clip. She a vegan, she got a thigh gap. Yeah, my BO smell good, it smell like lime. My team eating. Cash rap, always do a buyback. Down payment.
He ran into the room, dude.
I'm a healthy cereal.
Perfect for a grenade.
Infinity pool and the titles meaning. The whole idea is that there is no edge, you can see forever. The same goes for James and his newfound awakening. As they learn after this, there really is no edge because there are no true consequences as long as they have cash. This comes further into the forefront when Gabby introduces them to their other so-called zombies that have all been doubled as well. Since they have gone through the doubling process multiple times, they no longer feel bound to follow the laws or rules of society anymore. They can essentially do whatever they want. One guy, Bob, is writing a paper on the doubling process and has an intriguing question for James. Does he ever wonder if they got the wrong man? You just wake up and have no idea. Perhaps the real him is the one that actually died. Did he just witness his own demise? James chuckles that he certainly hopes so. There's a lot of meaning behind that statement, but ultimately he doesn't want to go back to who he was before. Either way, he hopes the old version of himself is dead. Who cares if he's a real one or not? And as they mentioned, the double is an exact one-to-one copy. So in a way, what is the difference? James gets a bit overwhelmed and Gabby comes to calm his nerves. She knows the first day is difficult. It's like a new skin working itself into place. She too can tell that he has changed, in his case feeling something special is happening to him. She takes his hand on her heart and asks him to trust her. Before he can even answer, they're shocked by the sound of a gun firing. One of the group fires it with great abandon all around the room to everyone's amusement, also noting that he got it from a cleaner. Charles has heard of his passport problems and offers to help him out in exchange for playing a little game. You're like, oh god, what is that gonna be? They propose a heist of sorts. Another bigwig, the very same that placed the blame of the infinity pool accident on Gabby and Albin, was just recently granted an award for good work for the island. They want to steal it for themselves. It's all just a bit of fun. But also after what he did, Gabby feels they must retaliate at some point, or otherwise they will end up cowering on the ground to never get up again. They ask if James is interested, giving him further incentive with a gun to the ribs. He doesn't need to be forced, slamming the rest of his drink and shattering it on the ground. They first break into the gift shop and it's a complete farce. They're all giggles and rolling around on the ground with their gun, not even remotely taking this seriously. They each are bestowed an Iki mask of their own, as determined by Bex. The mask gang rolls out and makes their way to their adversary's estate. They send in James first, who does so without a second thought. He tiptoes up to the door, but it's locked. To his surprise, it opens from the inside, and he stumbles into the house. The rest gang rush after and take the lady hostage. The girls bust into a bedroom, bringing the guy out along with his lover as well. The others raid the house in search of the metal and do find it, everyone whooping in celebration. Naked and afraid, James marches behind the trio clutching a gun. Gabby naturally wants to push him further, asking if he's ever fired one before. She takes it in her hand, croaking, it would be so easy. Not everyone gets this chance. Again, would you murder someone just to see what it was like, knowing that you don't have to face any consequences? She lifts the gun right up to the dude's head, but James still can't do it. Another guy tries to play hero, opening fire upon the group, which goes about as well as expected. A few innocent people are taken out, but only Albin gets winged in the leg. They all help assist him back to the hotel, passing by a strange Indian Bollywood dancing show going on. And you're like, what the hell is the culture of this island exactly? Just bastardized versions of everything, I guess. Weird. James takes them to his room, coming to a mortified M. Albin is bleeding profusely and yowls out in pain. The group are all arrested once more, but none are taking it seriously, complaining about the wait time and lack of water. Tretch enters and is unamused by their apparent inconvenience.
Dude.
I'm a healthy cereal.
Perfect for grenade.
She a turkey on my dick, she gobble it. Big dick appointment, gynecologist.
He ran into the room, dude.
I'm a healthy cereal.
Perfect for grenade.
She a turkey on my dick, she gobble it. Big dick appointment, gynecologist.